Hey, I can't hear you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Build Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith. I'm excited to be here today, as always. My platform is designed to assist high school age and young adult males as they follow my basic principles to overcome obstacles from their personal lives and society to build their best lives. I believe it is better to train early rather than to fix later. I am so happy to welcome Ms. Quen Sams today with me for our Educators Chat. Hi, Quen.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for taking the time out to join us today. I'm going to read a little bit about Quen, and then she can tell you anything else that she would like to share with you. But Quen is a native of Jacksonville, Florida. She is a CTE and leadership skills development teacher at Jean Ribault Senior High School, my alma mater. She also serves as the activities director and is the sponsor of the Beta Club, Lady Trojans pageant director, and was recognized as Ribault's 2020 Teacher of the Year. Yay! She has received several awards for the work she has done in the classroom and her work in the community. As a pageant director and educator, she believes that it is a must to embrace change, encourage innovation, and foster creativity, not just in their students, but in oneself. Quen is married to Raymond and is the mother of two beautiful daughters, Kiara, 30, and Tyler, 20. She enjoys spending time with her family and friends and encouraging others to be their best self. Welcome again, Quen.
Thank you. It is such an honor to be here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, as everyone knows, today this is our educators chat. We are happy to have you here. I think it is very important to have different people from our community to showcase their perspective of what we can do in order to help our young men to build better lives. So, who better than our educators? They spend most of their time with educators than they even do at home. So, I think that it's great that we can have our educators to join us. Good evening, Dan. Thank you for tuning in with us today. All right, as educators can be mentors, role models. Educators can also be parents, instructors, authoritative figures. So many of you out there have to ask yourself, what type of educator are you? And then parents and students, what are you allowing that educator to do in order to assist you? But before we get started, Quinn, is there anything else you would like to tell our audience about yourself?
Um, that kind of summed it up. I am a proud member of St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church, or St. Paul Church of Jacksonville, where our bishop is Bishop John Eric Guns. I am active in my church. My family is active in our church. Um, and again, I just love being around my students. I am that parent figure. I am that mentor, that sponsor, whatever I need to be to help them reach their goals. That's who I am.
Great, and we appreciate you. I, for one, I can't speak for anybody else, but I applaud you and all educators because without you, we would be lost because we would not have anyone to teach our young people, and then we would just perish. So y'all are just so very important to the life of our children and the world going forward.
Thank you.
So, as an educator at a high school, what are the most significant issues that you see that negatively impact our young men?
What I see on a day-to-day basis is, unfortunately, once students get to the high school level, the parent support actually declines. That to me is the greatest influence of our children. In kindergarten and elementary schools, you often see parents come to, different things that's going on in the school. Unfortunately, on a high school level, you don't see that as much. You might see them at sports events, um, sometimes, but then there are times when you don't even see parents at that level, and I think for the most part, you actually need that support throughout. It doesn't stop. I am, um, I believe that, you hear, oh, once I turn 18, um, it's not the parent's responsibility anymore. No, I do not believe that you let them go at 18. I think we rear our children until they're ready to go and fly on their own. Um, I believe you during the high school level, it's very important to stay involved, be involved in, know who your son's teachers are, have a relationship with the teachers, be a part of the PTSA, be a part of the sports. I'm not knocking that at all, but be a part of their entire life. Sit down and talk to them, find out what's going on with their lives. And I see that there's a decline there. I see that parents are so busy trying to be their children's friends or trying to relive their teenage lives. Um, and that causes so much divide between the parent and the child. So that's the biggest thing that I've seen.
That is so sad, because those, like you say, those parents need to be there, and especially at that age, that's because that's when we have all this risky behaviors and everything is just going on. Hormones are jumping. The education is, inclining, so they need more help. You need to find out what's going on. You don't wait to the ninth hour and then, oh, my child needs help in this subject and help
Hmm.
in that subject, or what happened. If you're not there 24/7, sometimes it's a little bit too late.
Absolutely.
So I totally agree with you on that. And so, I mean, as an educator, I mean, as the community, as anyone else, what is it that we can do to get that word out? I mean, I can spread it on here, but other than that, how do we get parents to understand that they are still needed?
I think just like you said, on platforms like this is a great platform to spread the word. But also, we live in a social media world right now. We need to share these type of things, and it's not to bash a parent. It's just to let the parents know what we need, because it is my desire to partner with a parent, partner with. I think it's a whole partnership that needs to happen in order for the child to be successful. The parent first, the child, of course, the teacher, the school counselor, the athletic coach, whatever it is, we all need to partner. The church community, we all need to partner with the child in mind. So in order to get the word out, we all need to speak the same language. We can't have one group saying something different than this other group. We all need to speak the same language. So for the most part, it's understood. It's not confusing to the child. It's not confusing to whomever is trying to partner with the child. So we all need to speak the same language and be consistent with it.
Yes, that consistency. That's a big part of it as well. Because you can't do one thing this week and next week you're not worried about it. And you're like, oh, you know what? We started that new program and I forgot about it. It's too late. You
Mhm.
have to do whatever you start doing. You have to continue to do it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, in your interaction as an educator, are students comfortable being themselves? Do they feel like because of peer pressure that they cannot be themselves, they always got to be trying to be like someone else? Is that an issue that you see?
It is definitely an issue that I see. I just saw it today. Although I see it often, had a conversation with two students that I know them separately, and they are very caring students, but together, because it was a possible issue. But sitting down talking to them individually, I understood that they both cared, and they didn't want to get into any trouble. However, the kids call it trying to be cool. So once they got together, they didn't want the other one to know that they cared, because they were so busy trying to be hard and be somebody that they're not. Um, but then, so they try to be cool, um, but not honest with who they are or honest with their feelings. So I see it all the time. It's you find very few students that can be completely honest, completely transparent about who they are and how they feel, because they're so busy trying to impress somebody else. So it is our job to, well, and particularly for me, I want them to first understand who they are. Um, when they find out who they are, they won't worry about what the next person thinks about them. And they can be honest and they can be transparent. So that's the first thing, learning who they are. Secondly, when they, just like you say, you want to live your best life. You can't live your best life trying to be somebody else. So know who you are, and then live that life that God created for you. Our lives are not the same. Our paths are not the same. So we're not gonna always do the same things. So do what God created you to do. This is your life. This is your path. Lead that path and do what you're supposed to do. So that is the things that I try to let them know. Um, and first and foremost, like I said, try to get them to know who they are. Find out who they are. Let them know how significant they are, and they can't beat. Nobody else can beat them being them. You
Right.
know, so when they find that out, it's like one of them realize that is just fulfilling in and of itself for me.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And I know that for this generation, Michael Jordan is not so much who they're probably who they look up to, but if they,
Hmm.
know of any of his history, he was just awesome and great. However, when they played a game and most of the guys got their gear and then, hey, you have to be sequestered, I guess, before the game. Make
Hmm.
sure you're ready. So now we played the game. We're gonna go hit the street, man. You going with us? He wouldn't go. He would
Right.
stay there in the gym and practice some more.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
was about making sure that he was the best. He wanted to be the
Right.
best and he worked at it. So he didn't
Right.
care that they were going away or what they said about him. So that's what they young people have to realize. When you look in the mirror in the morning, you see yourself.
Hmm.
And if I could get our young men, because I know some young ladies like to do it, but if I could just get our young men to begin to write affirmations, write those
Hmm.
positive affirmations and say those before you step out the door. My
Hmm.
name is I don't know, Chris. You know,
Hmm.
I was made by from God. I'm smart. I
Hmm.
have skills. I'm
Hmm.
gonna be somebody. I'm gonna be a physician. I'm gonna be the next I don't know, what's the doctor for the United States, but say
Hmm.
what you're gonna do, what you want to be. If it's a football player, you can say that, but everything that you say, it needs to be something positive and something you believe for yourself, not what your mom wants you to be,
Right.
not what your dad wants you to be or your friend, but what you want to be deep down inside, and you got to work toward that and do it. And if you say that
Absolutely.
every day, then you'll know it by heart. You say that every day and mean it. That changes your mindset, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
even worry about other people.
Absolutely. I am a true believer of affirmations. You'll see it. You see it at my desk. You see it in my home. You see it in my car. I am a true believer. I've even spread that to my children. Write it down. Say it until you believe that thing. So I am a believer. And like you said, with the group that I'm a sponsor of the Lady Trojans, I've said that to them, and I say that to them every year. Trying to get the young men to do it is a little tougher. Because they like, Miss Sam's, really? You want me to say it? Say it. To me, if you can repeat or recite something you hear on a radio station or on a record or whatever, well, I guess they don't call them records, whatever it is, you can recite something that's going to ultimately change your mindset.
All right. And they can't start too early because Natalia, she's 6. When she's 5, I've already written her affirmation. I say, girl, you got to learn this by heart because she's real
Right.
soft. And I want you to say it and say, I am somebody. I'm the boss of
Hmm.
me. I said, you don't
Right.
let people know that you're timid. And that's one thing I try to tell our young men. You have to look people in their eyes, hold your head down when you meet a bully. Look
Hmm.
right back at them. Because if they
Right.
know that you are timid, then that's when they're gonna pick on you. So
Hmm.
hey, I'm the boss of me. You keep stepping, and if they big and they brush past you, do everything you can not to make your body move. So they want that. Oh, that's just a pushover. Don't show them. Hey, I'm
Right.
not scared of Freddie. You could be shaking in your boots, but you don't let them know that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep, they just gotta step it up.
Right. Right. I'm telling you, I'm a true believer of that. And like I said, I do it now. We actually, my husband and I, we have something on our bathroom mirror, affirmation on our bathroom mirror. It's not as aesthetically pleasing as I would like. However, it is about us and where we want our life to be and where we want our mind to be. So that is more important than how it actually looks. Although it's a little piece, but still, it is meant to change our lives.
All right, that's great. Now, I was doing some research a couple weeks ago, and I saw some things that I wasn't even aware of. So, like with our young men, and then as your role as an educator, I know that there are all types of risky behaviors out there.
Hmm.
Like I said, I saw something that I wasn't even aware of, but the choking, I think I had heard of before, but then I saw something called salvia. And I was like, what in the world is that? And that's
Hmm.
like a hallucinant. But as
Okay.
educators, are y'all made aware of like different trends and new risky behaviors that the kids get into and train on that type of behavior to know, signs for it or anything?
Yes. Typically in a typical year, with this school year, because of COVID-19, there have been many different changes. But in a typical year, we would have early release Wednesdays. And during those days, although the students are gone, we take that time to do some training. And a lot of times we will have somebody, or our principal will have somebody come in to let us know what's trending right now, what signs we need to look for, what things we need to look for. Um, even with candies, you can't be so careful about a child having candy because you don't know what's in that candy. Um, so it's shocking. It's very, very shocking. Some of the things that you see, that is um not good for them. It's not good for them at all. So much so, I remember one year, um, some students shared a brownie. And that brownie, of course, had some kind of drug in it. Some of the kids knew, some of the kids did not know that it had drugs in it. But it did cause them, a couple of them, to end up going into the hospital.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it was really, really bad. And again, the fact that some of them did not know. You're just a child, oh, give me a piece or whatever, not knowing that this can harm you. So yeah, so those type of trainings we do have. Unfortunately, this year we have not had enough of those trainings because of COVID.
Hmm. Okay. That was just something I've wondered about because you hear different things on the news, but that's not something I've ever heard reference to anything. So it was on my mind because after
Hmm.
reading that, I was like, okay, people get a thrill out of choking and doing
Yeah.
this and doing that.
See
So
that's a new one for me. I think I saw that maybe on a movie or somewhere, but then I've learned that there's some truth in a lot of these movies or sitcoms or whatever it is. These shows that are coming on, because I think I've seen it there, but in the school I have not.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, right.
uh, Another question that I have, and I sit down and trying to be able to help a young man, regardless of what circumstance they're dealing with. I kind of like brainstorm and kind of think of different things. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you've been on Facebook, you probably have. But sometimes you might be watching a video from the church or something, and when it goes off, this Star Man comes on, and he has these life situations. He has his own company, but he has actors, and they do out these videos that's live situations.
Mhm.
Uh, but one of those that he had was like a teacher that was mean to the young lady because she was smelly and she had wore the same clothes for a couple of days, and the teacher was just really, really mean to her. Only come to
Mhm.
find out that she was homeless. So, I mean, do you have you encountered anything like that? Uh, I guess in your class or at the
Mhm.
school.
I actually have. So much so that we have foster children situations. I personally had a few students that have been homeless. Um, but that type of thing has prompted me. I have in one of my cabinets all type of toiletries and different supplies. I've done things where I thankful for a group of friends and family members and even Facebook community that during the winter time I noticed that some children, and this winter had been a little different than winters before because it seemed a little colder. Um, so I reached out to some people because I noticed that some of my students did not have coats. But the thing about it is they won't come and ask out of embarrassment or whatever it is. So you have to know, first of all, they have to know that you care, number one. Um, and you have to know how to handle situations like that. So you can't just in front of people ask them, "Do you have a coat?" or anything like that. You can't do that. So I've learned that you just pull them to the side at certain points, or when opportunity meets. It's that when there's an opportunity that happens, then you kind of ask them, "Hey, I have these coats." And I make sure they're brand new, hang them up, they're nicely done. And at any moment in time, you want to come meet with me one on one if you like, and you can come pick your coat. If you need anything else, I have a cabinet full of toiletries, and it doesn't have nobody has to know but you and I. And that's what you have to do. Number one, you have to earn their trust. Um, because oftentimes they have um people have misused their trust or misused them, so much so that they don't trust anybody. But my goal is to stand in the gap. I don't want them to feel ashamed or embarrassed about their situation. I feel like oftentimes God puts me in these places to be to help them. And that's pretty much what I do. Like I say, I keep it stocked. And again, if you come and you need it again, it's here.
All right.
So yeah.
That's great. That was just something I wondered about. And, like I said, I had never heard anybody say we hear people need different items, but I've never heard anybody say anything like that. And I'm like, but surely, we have kids that fall into that category.
Mhm.
And, that's
Mhm.
another reason, another obstacle that can come up because, of course,
Mhm.
some kids are gonna like try to make fun of them or whatever,
Yeah.
instead of helping.
Yeah. Yeah. Earlier this year, and that's why you have to be as an educator, you have to be sensitive, you have to be trusting, and you have to be caring. I remember earlier this year, I believe it was earlier this year, or maybe last year, um, my principal, there was a student that was getting bullied because he may have had an odor or whatever. And my principal reached out to me and told me the need, and I immediately went to go get. I went and got as many things of deodorant as I possibly could from the store, and we just kept it there. My principal gave him quite a few things of it and just kept it in his office and made sure to let him know, hey, whatever you need, it's here, it's available. So you just definitely have to be sensitive to what's going on. You don't know what they go through. So yeah, so you definitely have to be praying and you have to be open to hear and just again, like I said, just be caring enough to and sensitive enough to their needs.
That's awesome. I see why you got Teacher of the Year. You're going above and beyond.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I would want some, and although my children are both past that stage, I just would want somebody to treat my children that way. So is I love it. Like I really, really love it.
Hi, Peggy. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Well, Build Your Best Life focuses on ensuring that young men have an opportunity to be their best selves. Please tell the audience what young people, specifically young men, need most from their parents and their guardians. And I know earlier you talked about, they need them showing up. But what other things do they need from their parents at this age
Okay.
that you think a lot
Um,
of them not get?
for young men, particularly, they need consistency. As far as our young men, our young black males, they deal with a lot. They deal with a lot, especially now. And granted, I don't have sons. However, I have nephews and I have cousins, and I see the type of things that they need. They need consistency. They need opportunities. And those opportunities stem from, we have to understand that we've all made mistakes. Um, and we are not our mistakes. So even if it's a situation where that young man has made a mistake, don't condemn them for the mistakes that they've made. Be open with them, loving, correct them. That's needed, but just be open with them, loving, compassionate, and like I say, be consistent with them.
Okay, that's good. Yes, and they definitely need that, communication, not, getting beat down all the time about what, you
Hmm.
know, this is what I say, do as I say, not as I
Right,
do, but that's what they're going to do, what they see. You can say something
right.
all day long, but if you're doing the opposite, they're going to do what they see you do, not what you say do.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
people have to understand that you cannot say, go right, go right, go right. We in danger. Go right. And they see you going left. Okay, well, if we in
They see
danger,
going left, they're gonna go left.
I'm going left too.
Right, right. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So yeah.
we have to all be on the same page. Yes,
Hmm.
most
Hmm.
definitely. Oh, babies. um, and I think I had another question, but you already answered that as far as participation with the parents. It's not very high, so I think
Yeah.
that's elementary school as well. But that's just something I've never been able to comprehend. I know people have to work, but
Mm.
when it comes to your child, they didn't ask to come here, so whatever they need, that's where you need to step up. So if that's
Absolutely.
working overtime, taking a couple hours off, whatever it is, making all you gotta do is call and make an
Hmm.
appointment. And I know that there are
Hmm.
teachers that are willing to help. Just like I tell the kids, you're not doing well in a particular subject. I don't care if you're bashful, I don't care if you're an introvert. You find a way to go ask that teacher, is there any way that I can get after school help?
Hmm.
Somewhere I'm trying it. It's not that I'm not doing it, I'm trying, but it's somewhere I got to disconnect. I want to be able to do this. You'd be surprised at the number of teachers that'll help you. And these kids that are
Yeah.
going to college, they go right to FSCJ. They keep a
Hmm.
lab of people that will help you with math and English.
Hmm.
That's usually
Hmm.
what they need. You need to, find out what your child needs, where they can get help. If they have to have a tutor, you just have to step it up. And there's not always a
Hmm.
cost. They are free
Right. Right.
resources. But they need
Right.
you not just to say, well, oh, you grown, you old enough, go find it. No, you
Mm-mm.
need to help them.
Right. Right. And that's so true. I'm leaving I just left the school. It's graduation time, just wanting to make sure I tie up some things. But I'm not the only one that's there late. There are several teachers that are there late. And I know even at our syllabus at the beginning of the school, several teachers that I know, they'll tell, the parents, hey, I'm here these days to provide assistance, homework help, whatever it needs for your students. We're here later. It's up to them to take advantage of those things. We all have families that we could go home to earlier. At high school we get out, we're done by 2:30. We could, as far as the academic portion, we're done by 2:30. So for some teachers, we're there well after 5 o'clock,
Wow.
providing the assistance for our students. But, we can't make them stay.
All right.
So we need parents to encourage them to stay, you know, and y- like I say, it's so many. Because I see it when I left the campus, it was still some cars there of teachers. It was there, and like I said, I left. It was after 6 o'clock.
Well, like again, I say it, y'all educators are a blessing. I can't thank you enough. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, but we just need our kids to, care enough about your grades. You cannot wait to the last minute. and you have to
Right.
speak up yourself. But parents, you need
Mhm.
to encourage that child. Don't just, you know, when I have to say that when I was coming up, but my parents, they didn't even have high school education. So I was kind of like
Mhm.
on my own. But
Mhm.
for parents today, you can't wait until the end of the 9 weeks and then say, okay, what kind of grades you got? You cannot do that. You have to walk
Mhm.
along the path with them that first week. You have your books, you have everything you need. You
Mhm.
need a protractor or a compass,
Mhm.
whatever you need. Do you have internet in your house? Even if you
Yeah.
have to get inexpensive internet, what is it that they need in order to be successful? You have to get those tools. And then a couple weeks out, you ask them, what are your grades looking like? Is it,
Right.
from my understanding, parents can go online and look at grades.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
but they're
So
not going to wait to 8 weeks again.
yeah, everything is so convenient right now where we have what we call focus. So with focus, as teachers typically, you should update your grades at least once a week. At least. Am I going to say every teacher does it? I'm not. But at least once a week. Um, and the parents have access to focus so they can kind of see what's going on. In addition to that, with you have the email addresses of teachers, and you can. I'm one. It's quicker, oftentimes, because I'm always busy doing something. It's quicker, oftentimes, to just shoot me an email, and I respond quickly to that. um, just to stay in constant communication with the teachers. Like I say, I believe it is a partnership with all players. All players must play their parts. The student, the teachers, the parent, the administrators, the coaches. Everybody has a part to play. If everybody is playing their part properly, it's a win for everybody, especially the child.
Yeah, and that's what we need. And Peggy Wiggins says, kudos to educators. Thanks, Peggy. And thank you, Cynthia, for tuning in. Glad to see you today. But yes, agree. It's a partnership. Everybody has to work together.
Mhm.
All
Mhm.
right. Now, this is something, again, like most of this stuff I've been brainstorming. I'm trying to figure out because I always say things and then I was like, okay, do I know what I'm talking about? That might not be
Mhm.
true. But at your school, um, besides basic skills, does your school teach young men or young ladies and young men skills such as like how to save, or etiquette, or how to be respectful? Is any of that taught?
Okay, so in the classroom, not so much. However, there are organizations at our school, like the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence for the guys, for the young men, and like the Lady Trojans, that I'm the sponsor of. And we also just started another girls or young ladies group called the Pearls of Perfection that has um, well, they added the high school component to that recently. So those type of um, groups or organizations, yes, we do teach etiquette. We do teach how to be a young lady, how to act as a young lady. 5,000 role models. They teach them how to be young men, how to look like young men, how to talk like young men. Um, 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 College. We go on college tours. Unfortunately, not this year, but we go on college tours. We want them to see their future. If that's something that you want, this is what you need to be around. Surround yourself with people that are
Okay, we didn't get the last part. Your internet went out, I guess.
what happened.
All we heard was surround yourself with, and then you went out.
Uh,
Kind of like freezing on us. Uh-oh. So, yes, Cynthia, thank you. Goes back to knowing their self-worth. Yes, they need to know and care about themselves, and look in the mirror and say, I am somebody. I'm self-disciplined, and I want to be educated. I want to be a business person. I want to be a physician. I want to be a doctor. But I'm responsible for me, and I know that I can do this, and I'm going to give it all I can. So they have to, have that self-worth and care about what they're doing, along with the parents pushing them along and anything that they can get outside of that in order to assist. And I guess I lost Quen, but we're kind of, I think she's coming back. Yes, definitely the exposure. That would be so wonderful, Cynthia. And it's my whole thing is, where do they have the opportunity to get this information? Like teaching it at schools or I guess after school programs. Because if they're not around somebody that's offering it, then of course they cannot. I figured you'd get back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Quen?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
can you hear me? Okay.
I'm good. All right. So, in closing, again, thank you so much for taking the time out because, hey, you're busier than I even thought you were because I was getting scared. I haven't heard from Quen. So I see you are a busy lady. But so I appreciate you taking time out to do this for me. But do you have any closing tips for our parents or our young people?
Yes, I just want to let everybody know this type of platform is very much needed. You know, none of us became parents that had a guidebook or anything like that when we became parents. It was almost kind of like, hey, we just try to figure it out, or we go by what we saw with our parents and so forth and so on. So I think it's important for platforms like this. These are the things that we need to share. These are the things that we need to talk about. These are the things that should be talked about in the coffee, the break room, and things of that nature. If we want to see a change, we got to be the change. And this is where change begins. The consistency in build your best life, and the consistency in what you do is what we need to see and what our children need to see. So it's all fun and games sometimes when we share little funny memes and things like that we see on social media, but we need to share this type of thing. Because if one parent gets it, then they'll share it with another, and so forth and so on. So it is important for us to be intentional about building our best life, building our best life with our children, building and having them understand how important it is to build their best life. So kudos to you for consistently doing this and consistently sharing these great tips from a mother who has done it and done it well. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you so much. I know you're sharing the word. But everybody that's watching this, if you could please share. And like I always say, the sharing is not to say, oh, I had 5 shares. I want to help young men. And the only way that they can be helped if someone that is surrounding them is getting this information and use to help them, or they are listening to it and picking it up, and it's helping them. And as well, my book, I wrote a book, Build Your Best Life. And you can get an autographed copy on my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. And again, this book was written so that I could get the word out to that many more people. It's for, mentors and pastors, educators, parents, grandparents, coaches, and our young people to
Teachers.
help teachers, yes, to help to get those basic principles and things, and I need to get with you because I'm doing something in August, so I want to include my alma mater in that, Quen.
Okay.
I really want to get this in the hands of as many as I can so that you can see how this basic information will assist you. This is good information, if I have to say so myself, because this is, skills that are not taught anymore.
It
And
is.
sometimes people think, oh, we don't need to talk about respect, or we don't need to talk about how you treat young ladies. Yes, we do. Those are things that will never, ever go away. They are always being styled. So someone has to continue to teach that.
Yeah.
Young men can't do what they don't know how to do. So, that's my reason for
Absolutely.
doing what I do. So Build Your Best Life is my business. That's not a slogan. That's a commitment. I'm here. I'm committed. I'm here 3 times a week. Come rain, snow, hail, sickness, tired, I'm here because I am serious about this. And Quen can tell you, I believe in consistency. That's always my word for the year, consistency. So I do believe in that. So I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. And Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our coffee chat. And this week, we're going to be talking about never say never. Sometimes we limit ourselves and the possibilities we have for life because we always say, I can never do that, or I'll never do that. So please tune in and hear Carol and I as we have our girl time and our coffee and talk about never say never. And as always, as you go on your journey to be a better you, you will have pit stops, rough terrain, and detours. Don't let any of these negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. Thank you. Be blessed. I love you. Have a great rest of your day.